Air travel at least is looking pretty decent. Wet weather does continue, however, and there will be a continued impact on the livestock industry, especially those folks that are calving this time of year. Let's focus on the next 3 days, shall we? That's the 18th Saturday, 19th Sunday, and Monday the 20th. And then we'll expand that view and go into the hazards for the next 10 days or so. That's in today's Daily Shower. Matt Makins here. As far as the precip on the way, as we talked about the next 3 days, so going through Sunday, really ends Monday morning. Areas of moisture over the northern high country there, that's going to be in the form of snowfall, a little bit of rainfall down in southern New Mexico. Moisture pretty much focuses though on the east coast, so Raleigh, Norfolk, D.C., into Philly, New York, and then northward into New England is going to have some wet weather. But this area right here, mid-Atlantic, is basically going to be around a half inch or so of total rainfall, a little bit quieter there. Winter storm severity is going to focus on the New England states and the mid-Atlantic, and a little bit of pocket here too throughout Wyoming and Montana for some wintry impacts there too. Snow on the way. Focusing here on the Rockies, we'll come back to that in a minute, and another bullseye here across New England. So let's go into the Rockies first off. There's Missoula, Wallace, Kalispell, and right in between these we have some deeper snowfall, especially the Rockies there just to the east of Polson. We're going to be approaching right around a foot of snowfall. Then you get Helena, Bozeman, and the mountain ranges moving on down to the south, going to be more within a 4 to 8 inch range or so. You look at New England now, mostly northern Maine, but parts of New York and Massachusetts as well, but mostly Maine. We're going to be looking at totals anywhere from 2 to 8 inches total. I like to know where viewers are coming from. Let me know in the comments section where you're from and conditions where you are. Let's get to the hazards for next week. Much below normal temperatures highlighted here. The 22nd to the 23rd, downright cold from Seattle to Helena to Bismarck and to Pierre and Cheyenne, especially for the northern high plains. Look for temperatures to be well below zero in a lot of cases, maybe even double digits below zero. Here's a look, expand that view, the 24th to 26th. So we're taking that cold air and now we're moving it into the Midwest where it's going to be very, very cold, as well as the New England states will also get very cold. Impactful precip on the way, heavy precip off the west coast, the 24th through March 2nd, and the 25th to the 28th, watching a system from about Nashville up to New York, Boston, Toronto, and Detroit. As far as impactful snow on the way, 24th to March 2nd, the Cascades into the Sierras will have heavy snowfall. The Rockies from the southern, central into northern Rockies, the 24th and 26th, potential for heavy snowfall there. And then the 25th to 28th, very heavy snowfall from the plains, stretching out over the Great Lakes into the mid-Atlantic and New England states. I wouldn't be surprised if we see some impactful snowfall in other sections of South Dakota, not just the east side. We'll have details on that as we get a bit closer. If you like the format of these videos, just the quick headlines, give you the bullet points of what weather is coming your way, let me know by hitting subscribe and then the alert bell, and then you'll know whenever I post something new. So I want to briefly take a break from the forecast and look at snow, snowpack, and drought numbers. Snowpack is colorized here. This is through the 16th of February. That's where we have snow depth on the ground. Impressive in a lot of cases, especially the central and northern plains and the southwest. That's unlike a classic La Nina pattern. Very little snowfall off to the east. And how this translates to drought, we still have this drought footprint across the country, especially in the central plains for Kansas and Nebraska on down to the south in Oklahoma City. But as you compare the two maps, snowpack, snow depth on the ground, and drought, why are so many drought areas covered in snow and yet still in drought? Part of that, well, it's several things. You got to melt the snow off before it's any benefit for water. In a lot of cases, the ground is frozen, especially Nebraska northward and across the northwest in areas, solid ground. Solid ground does not absorb water, or at least not very efficiently. So you may have a lot of snow on the ground, but from a drought perspective, that snow is not yet contributed to the soils and is not yet melted to contribute to surface water like ponds and things. So that's why when you compare snow depth, snowpack, on top of the drought monitor, that's why it may be a bit confusing or misleading to you. Why is there still drought with that much snow on the ground? It's because the soil doesn't have any of that water. It's sitting on top. And that's today's Daily Shower. Matt Makins here. I hope it finds you well. That's the data as I see it. Blessings to you and yours.